Hey, good night, everyone on YouTube. How are you? I hope everybody is in great spirits, doing well. I would like to thank all my 10 subscribers for staying tuned and staying a supporter. This is a little bit of a different view, huh? Well, here in southern Ontario, it gets a little dark out here in the bushes. So, no. Where I live, it's like kind of country. Anyways, I was saying in my previous video that I wanted to vent, but I guess it's not going to be the same effect. Let me slow down so I could try to get a little bit. I walk a little fast. Okay, so I wanted to vent, and basically I was saying that if I could help prevent somebody from the hurt that I went through this past weekend, I just wanted to share a message and share my experience. I wanted to say, first of all, that never, ever, ever give people the right, the authority, or the pen to write your life story. Don't give anybody the right to speak on your behalf and tell people how you feel and how you think and how your story went. Sometimes when you want to, like me, for example, I'm in a more isolated situation with no friends and, all of them stuff there around me. So sometimes when you get an adult conversation that doesn't have to relate to your everyday work or anything that has to involve with, other aspects of your life, sometimes you want to engage in a conversation, especially if the person is showing you, oh, I'm going to give you a lending ear. And yeah, you could talk to me and you can trust me. And sometimes these people will come in the form of, your friends, your family, relatives, in-laws, stuff like that. So let me give you an example of what happened to me that pissed me off to rattle me up the other day, and I couldn't even, get my thoughts and words together when I did the other video with the food. So I get an email. I don't really check my emails that often. And I get an email and I respond to it. It was an email from, okay, I'm not going to say a friend. I'm going to say a lady that I, I initially got introduced to for counseling services when I was dealing with the trauma of my son's father being murdered. I didn't really deal with it. I just kind of buried it. And anyways, I got introduced to this lady because of that. And because she's a black woman within the community, and you speak the language, eat your food, and she could relate. And her son was murdered. My son wasn't murdered, but her son was murdered, and her story moved me. And we could basically build a rapport because we had similar experiences. We didn't have the same, but we had similar experiences. So we were able to share that with one another and build a rapport off of that, and move forward. So moving forward, I then started to do training with her and another well-known organization in Ontario. And when she would have events I would support it with my youth. My youth and I would go all the way out to her area. And what's this motherfucker doing? What is this motherfucker doing? So we would support her events and stuff like that. And when my fundraisers and events would come about, she didn't want to support us. Like there would always be an excuse, oh, I'm busy and blah blah blah. She would always have excuses. So I would ask her if her son would be able to come out and speak to the youth because he's a little bit more known in the community, and I don't really want to give away too much because then people will know who her son is and whoever lives in Canada. So anyways, so she would always make excuses why her son wouldn't be able to participate without even asking him. She didn't want us to communicate with him anything. Anyways, when my son dies now, and I contact her, and I'm contacting her for support, she's talking to me as though I was begging money, asking me what I want. So I'm saying, oh, I just wanted you to drive out here for support. Like, you already know I don't got no mama, no daddy. like why you acting all brand new? Like, what? So she basically made all kind of excuses why she couldn't come out here, and that whenever I'm coming to Toronto that I should call her. And it's like, but you drive, I take the bus, so you want me to bus it to Ray, and I don't really know if I can do that. Anyways, open up my email. Surprisingly, the other day she sends me an email. So I'm like, wow, oh, that's very nice of her, saying, oh, I want to put you in with the other mothers, blah, 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 for some kind of gift from some company for mothers that lost their sons and blah, blah, blah. So I felt very touched that she thought about me and my son. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Like, you didn't have to think, like, there's like so much moms in Toronto, so it's like, wow, like you thought about me, whatever. So I didn't realize the email was like maybe a month and a half old or whatever. Anyways, I replied to it, sent it back. She calls me right away and then tells me that, she's doing some kind of paper, like what's it called, like a newspaper magazine article kind of thing. And she had like, I guess, one space or one page left or whatever, and she wanted me to write a story. So I was like, what do you want me to write about? So she's like, anything, just write about your experience. So I'm like, anything from any angle, because I can go off on tangents, Shit, my battery is about to die. Anyways, she said write about anything. So I kind of procrastinated. And I was humming and hawing and saying, I don't know if I really want to put my information in somebody else's newspaper or whatever. Anyways, she texts me and saying, time is running out and whatever. So I hurry up and I try to do the article, but my one page turned into 2.5. But I know that she had to edit it down anyway, but I gave her more than enough information and stuff like that she could work with. Let me tell you how this lady edited and put in her own words what happened to my son, putting in her own words what I wanted to feel about my... And it was like, what? I never said that. I never even told you that. Like, hold on a second. She's putting in things that I told her in confidence in the article. So I'm saying, hold on a second. But you, in one breath, you're telling me that I can trust you. You're not going to tell anybody about what we talk about. But at the same time, you took all that information and you put it in the article. And all that stuff that you put in the article, I never wrote myself. I never wrote that down for you to put for your article. So basically, the first two paragraphs she used for me, and then the rest of it she chop it up and made it look like I had bad grammar, bad spelling, and dumb. She basically dumbed down. She basically dumbed down the whole thing that I wrote and made me just sound dark and illiterate and dunce. So I sent back a long email saying, like, how could you write all these things? I never even told you or gave you the permission to write that, right? So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to edit it. It's like you have like basically almost 3 pages. So why would you go and write down things that I never even told you to write? That doesn't even make any sense, So it's like by her response now, it's like she's taken offense to me objecting for what she's putting out there. But it's like, hold on, this is my life. This is my story. You cannot write what you want to write. But this is the whole thing now. It's like sometimes people want to, you know what? I'm right at the store and I don't want to go inside with the whole heap of baga baga drama. So I'll be right back.